Congressional Black Caucus Institute is launching its nationwide flagship training program, ACT, Advocacy and Campaign Training in New Orleans, February 8th and 9th. Vanessa Griddine-Jones, Executive Director of the Congressional Black Caucus Institute, is with us. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Hal. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And you have ties to Louisiana, having graduated from the Southern University Law Center. Any other roots in Louisiana?
I just fell in love with Louisiana a few years ago, and then after Katrina, I just loved the city and the resilience and the genuineness of the folk and all the amalgamation of the cultures and experiences there. So it's my happy place. So anytime I have a chance to come to New Orleans, I am delighted to be there.
Certainly. Well, many of us have heard of the Congressional Black Caucus, but may not know about the Institute. So tell us about the entity that you head.
So the Congressional Black Caucus Institute is actually the policy and advocacy arm of the Congressional Black Caucus. Our primary focus is to provide political education, training, and leadership to our future leaders. And we do so every year. We have an annual boot camp in Washington, D.C. It's usually about 5 to 7 days. We bring individuals from the CBC member districts to the district, and then we ship them out to an area in Piney Point, Maryland, where they're secluded, to provide them with intensive training on campaign art.
Tell us what led to the development of this new initiative.
So the initial development of our annual boot camp that we've had every year for the past 15, 16 years was because Congressman Benny Thompson and others were continuously hearing that they're not highly trained operatives to work on campaigns. And he knew that that just wasn't true. And so he decided we would launch a boot camp that's all we will focus on, making sure that we had individuals trained to work on campaigns or to be candidates themselves. As a result of that, about 2 years ago, the WYLD Family Foundation took note of our boot camp and decided that they wanted to invest in the program and to figure out a way that we could expand the program. With Congressman Cedric Richmond's help, we expanded the program to 4 cities. So our pilot city is New Orleans. We will have 3 other boot camps, one in Denver, one in Los Angeles, and one in Atlanta for the rest of 2019.
So how were participants identified for the ACT workshops?
Part of the grant requirements is that we come to the area and have these touch point meetings where we're meeting with local officials, policy advocates. We've identified education advocacy in particular because that is a high focus for the WYLD Family Foundation. So we reached out to those folks. We pulled them together and we had a reception at Dookie Chase in New Orleans. It was about 65, 70 individuals came out. We told them that we were coming to the area. We asked them to help us identify people who needed the training. And so when we opened up the applications, we sent out back to that same group of people who had attended the reception. And then they sent us names of applications. We had over 130 people apply. Unfortunately, we could not accommodate all of them. But we were excited about the excitement that they had about the training coming to the area.
Once again, our guest is Vanessa Griddine-Jones. She is Executive Director of the Congressional Black Caucus Institute. The Institute is launching its nationwide flagship training program, ACT, Advocacy and Campaign Training, right here in New Orleans, February 8th and 9th. And so the sessions will take place, or the workshops will take place over the course of 2 days. So give us an overview of what will occur on each day.
On the first day of training, it will be focused on the campaign part of the training. So there's 2 parts. There's campaign and then there's education policy advocacy. The first day and a half or so actually is focused on campaign. So they will learn everything from running a campaign, from being a door knocker to being a candidate themselves. So they'll learn communications. They'll learn how to develop an actual campaign plan, a fundraising plan. We'll talk about how that looks in our communities. So it will be focused on the African-American community as to how we run campaigns and what's effective in our area. The next day will be about education policy advocacy, what education reform looks like, the role of school, the role of school choice, the role of charter schools in the area. You all are highly focused on charter schools in New Orleans. And so we'll have a local component of someone coming in to talk about what that looks like specifically in New Orleans. And then we'll talk about how to advocate a policy position. Part of the requirement for WYLD Family Foundation is that people take an active and public stance on an education issue. And that could be sending out a tweet, a Facebook post, writing an op-ed, writing a letter to the editor. But we want to see that you're actively engaged in doing something. And since New Orleans has off-year elections, you all are in a campaign year every year, essentially. So we figured this was a great place to provide the training. And then to give you all highly skilled operatives to go out and to be effective in your campaigns there.
So what are the tangible accomplishments your organization is seeking in order to know that participants have a true understanding of the goals and objectives of the program?
I mean, it's really just about engagement. We just want people to be civically engaged and to understand how government affects their lives, to understand how important voting is, to understand how important education is. And so we just want you to actively get out there and get involved in campaigns. Like I said, it could be something as simple as posting a Facebook post or writing a tweet or Instagram, something on Instagram about education or about the importance of voting and encouraging people to get involved in their communities and to get involved in the electoral process.
And what are the age ranges of the individuals participating in the workshops?
Anywhere from 85 to 95.
Okay, sure. And then New Orleans, of course, is...
We're not discriminating on age. So I think our average age for New Orleans is about 34, 35.
Okay.
But we have everyone from fresh out of college to, their mid-50s and 60s.
Okay. And so New Orleans is the kickoff. Where else will the workshops occur nationwide?
The next boot camp will occur in Denver. We will have one in Los Angeles and one in Atlanta.
All right. Well, once again, the Congressional Black Caucus Institute is launching its nationwide flagship training program, ACT, Advocacy and Campaign Training, right here in New Orleans, February 8th and 9th. Thank you so much to Ms. Vanessa Griddine-Jones, Executive Director of the Congressional Black Caucus Institute. And if listeners want to get more details about this program and others, where may they go?
Please visit our website at www.cbcinstitute.org.
Vanessa Griddine-Jones, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, Hal.